stand still, just kind of kills it.
Yeah, the TAS actually abuses like the way it detects whether or not you're moving, and actually it can move while you're charging, but I think you have to like alternate whether or not you're... You have to alternate every frame whether or not you're moving, which is obviously completely impossible in real time, so... Yeah, go for it. This is a lot of
Alrighty, thank you everyone for all the donations that have come in. From Jeannot, we have $140 saying, I couldn't let my #1 favorite RPG be played and not have the best ending, and the awesome music that goes with it always makes me shiver. Without having it showed. So here we go, Railkun. Please just let the whole credits be played through. From Kuro, we have a $5 donation, and I'm going to make that the minimum for any pronunciation-related things. It has to be at least $5. Who says Crystalis, just because you need to put this in there. Hammocksat says Crystalis is the proper way to say it. Like Crystalis with a T from crystal in it. What's so hard about that? Slain V donates $5, saying, since I have no idea the correct pronunciation of that game, I am donating $5 so that the commenter can pronounce it the way he feels proper. I don't know if that's me or Puexel.
Hey, proper way is Godslayer Haruka Tenko no Sanata.
Okay, we'll go with...
That's an acceptable answer.
Very much.
Alrighty, and finally, we have a $20 anonymous donation from someone in the room who says, I love Crystalis, one of my favorite games. Good luck on the Crystalis run, UA, and hope you get another world record run while playing Crystalis. Oh, and because Karma's a bitch, send this money to unmute the TV during Pox's run.
So just a quick thing, one thing that a lot of people got confused about when this game came out is that some of the event triggers that you have to do are really, really weird. Like, this guy, I would not be able to fight this guy until I visited that town in the swamp, so that's why I went to that town in the swamp and then immediately left. And it's faster to lose to this fight twice, and the third time you can theoretically win, but if he starts fighting back right away, it's faster to just lose it a third time, because it gets easier every time. But... See, that was pretty good.
Nice.
It's way, way easier the fourth time around, but you can, in fact...
Yeah. I mean, I think winning, like, the first time would probably require, like, bomb Terizo skip level mashing skills.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like,
and a fair bit of luck as well. The task does actually beat him the first time around, but it does some stuff that's basically completely impossible in real time, both in just terms of mashing the button fast enough and just maneuvering correctly. So I needed to talk to the... I think they're supposed to be dwarves, but I can't remember.
I always thought of them as bunnies.
Yeah, bunnies is probably not... Bunnies probably works too. Anyway, I needed to talk to the mother so that the kid would show up. Now, I rescue the kid from the swamp. She gives me a flute that summons a giant angry bug. And then I can talk to the village elder, and he gives me the sword of fire.
Sword of fire. Well,
or however the hell...
It sounds pretty bad.
Yeah,
I'm not going to pronounce that word. It actually sounds like it.
Yeah, the GBC version of this game has really terrible voice acting for whatever reason, and it sounds like a mess. But, so now I can't kill these tomatoes yet. That's what we call them. When I say we, I mean me and Dragon Dark. However, I can kill these mushrooms out here, which are the best way to grind at this point of the game. I need to be at level 4 to kill the next boss, but I need to be level 5 to kill the stuff in the area right immediately after the boss, so I'm going to grind most of the way to level 5 out here before I continue. So this would be a good time to read more donations, because this will take me a little while.
Hashtag grinding all day.
Alrighty, we have another donation saying, hi there, Tinglinator here, making my first donation for $15. Really glad how well the marathon is going so far, and I hope you guys keep it up. This is for the chance to win the best video game OST of all time in Chrono Cross. Put this for naming Gogo as Obda Jr. because he needs some love this marathon. Well, thank you very much.
Taking a lot more damage than I really should be. Like I said, the hitboxes in this game are pretty special.
Yeah, I mean, I think it says something when even the Wikipedia article about the game mentions hitboxes, which is something that ordinarily only like speedrunners like us would really care about that much.
Yeah, I might actually hit the end instead of going immediately to fight the boss because I can use warp boots. Yeah, wow, I am taking way more damage than I really should be. Are there any more donations? Okay.
All right, we have a $5 donation from the Magical Quevor, and I approve of the que over the wark. So there's another important battle. And the Magical Quevor says, "Woohoo! Super psyched to see a Crystalis run, but even more excited for Railkun's speed run of Chrono Cross afterwards. This night shall last." There are a lot of pronunciation guides in this comment. Forever. Mwahahaha. With the aid of Kefi.
Yeah. Next game is Kurono Kurosu, by the way.
So I actually got bad luck with the tomato spawns there. I'm going to have to grind a little bit on my way to Mount Saber South because I'm supposed to be at, I want to say, 226 right now, and I'm only at 212.
So we need to have some choice words with that person that rewarded us for finding their kid by giving us a flute to summon this killer insect.
Yeah, this fight can get kind of annoying. Whoops.
Oh.
This is not a good fight. Yeah, wow. Yeah, this is terrible. Okay. At least I didn't die. That was really badly done, but at least I didn't die. Okay.
Oh, and then I guess we didn't. He's done it a couple times already. We didn't really talk about how the charge-up abilities of the swords let you get past obstacles of various kinds too, like the water or the wind sword lets you break certain types of rock walls and caves. The fire sword lets you melt ice walls. The water sword lets you build bridges over certain types of rivers. And the Thunder Sword lets you destroy demon face doors.
So I got really good luck with the respawns there. Normally those guys don't like to respawn that fast, but so they didn't actually lose me that much time. So that's good. So this is the most difficult part of the run because it goes the longest without having any checkpoints or like any way to like recharge your magic or anything like that. So you just have to hope you can make it through.
Past these abominable snow zombies or whatever they are.
Yeah, well the zombies aren't too bad, but the stuff inside the caves is really annoying, like especially the spiders. The spiders are probably some of the worst hitboxes in the game, which is really saying something. So there's going to be a lot of sword swapping here, because some of these enemies are only vulnerable to the wind sword, and some of them are only vulnerable to the fire sword. So I'll be swapping swords a lot to kill them on the way, because it's still faster than grinding later.
That's one of the very few things that the GBC version actually improved, was making it so that like all swords did some kind of damage to enemies, even if it's not a lot.
So I want to be... I'm going to have to do a little bit of grinding on the zombies outside, because I want to be at about 400. Whoops. Okay, so that's my last... That's my last opportunity to get poisoned. If I get poisoned again, I'm gonna have to run back to the inn, because I will not, unless I like manage to do it in a place that's relatively close to where I want to be anyway. Because if I get poisoned again, I will not have enough hit points to survive the rest of the mountain.
Yeah, poison does what it does in pretty much every other RPG, but it doesn't wear off naturally.
Yeah, it'll be less of an issue later because I'll have more hit points, because it doesn't actually scale. It does the same amount of damage throughout the entire game. Which, you know, early on in the game, it makes a much bigger difference. So, I'm going to go ahead and heal, because why not? Oh, come on, get up there.
The rabbit boot sound is amazing, by the way.
Yes. I'm sure Dragon Dark is already yelling at me for my experience grinding. I'm sure I'm screwing something up. So like I said, I need to be at about 400, so I think just one more loop will be enough. If not, I can kill a couple extra enemies on the way.
Yeah, because he's not grinding all the way to level 6 just because he'll be able to kill enough other enemies on his way to the next boss to get there just in time. That's probably one of the biggest things that was improved about the route for this game in the past year or so, is just optimizing the leveling.
Yeah, this game has really... There's so... Like, you can lose so much time in... Whoops. Menuing. Like, for example, right there, I did not actually need to go to the menu, but I forgot which enemies were coming up next, so I was thinking I needed to switch to the wind sword. Apparently, yes. Oh, I'm sure Dragon Dark is absolutely fuming at me right now.
He's sticking his tongue out at you. He's amused, I think.
Well, has he reached the stage of looking for flights to Edmonton to settle the score yet, or...?
Oh, that's right, yeah, okay. Clockwise is slightly faster.
Oh, does it spawn them faster or something?
No, it's just, I guess jumping up the ramp wastes a bit of time, which honestly should have been obvious, but whatever.
So right here is why I wish you could play this on like a SNES controller and have shoulder buttons to switch swords, just that you don't have to keep constantly going into the menu to switch swords, just so that you can damage certain enemies.
Yeah, and I'm not picking up the money because I need it. I'm picking it up because it makes stuff less likely to despawn. Like, the coin sprites and the enemies take the same, like, table space in memory. So leaving a coin, it makes it more likely that an enemy will fail to show up later, which is a big deal. Like, when you're trying to maximize how much experience you get from the stuff you're killing. I'll be picking up some coins that I just don't really need to, but it's just force of habit because 90% of the coins you do want to pick up. So it's harder for me to remember sometimes, like, which ones I don't actually need.
Yeah, thanks to this shop glitch, you don't really need a ton of money to get everything you need in the games, because even in this 100% run.
Yeah, the 100% run doesn't require any extra shopping trips or anything like that, so... I think I'm a little short of where I need to be, actually, which is kind of weird, because I thought I actually killed extra stuff, but depending on how many tomatoes I run across on the way out of the swamp, I might still be okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to kill 3 slimes up here. Isn't a big deal, but you know, 3 slimes is 3 slimes. I shouldn't have had to kill those. So this is... Nope. This is a pixel-perfect skip that, of course, in practice I got, like, the first try, like, the last 5 tries. But why am I suddenly having trouble with this? There we go.
There we go.
Okay, so that's an event barrier. You're normally supposed to have to go back to the first town and realize they've all been kidnapped, but you can... There's a 1 pixel wide area where the trigger doesn't work that you can just walk through. Saves probably about a minute or so.
Yeah.
Oops, why did I put on refresh?
Alrighty, we have a lot of new donations in. Another one for Kuro, which was basically the same comment, again repeating Crystalis, just because you need it. Okay, we have, oh, sorry, that one was a repeat. We have a $125 donation from Darth Wingnut, saying thanks to all the speedrunners donating their time and effort to an awesome cause. Also, big thanks to Uranium Anchor for telling me about this event and piquing my interest in live speedrunning. Good luck to all the runners and hoping to see a new world record in... No pronunciation guide, so I leave it to the runner.
Let Wexel say it.
Godslayer.
Yeah,
There you
Godslayer
go.
Haruka
Alrighty.
Tenko no Sanata, which means Godslayer's Sonata of the Faraway Sky.
So here's a bit of grinding, so yeah, keep reading donations.
The far away sky. Not away. Away. Alrighty, we have an anonymous $50 donation for no reason, no comment, no attachment. Just some generous people out there, so thank you very much. And finally, we have a $30 donation from the Snow Show, which says, I have no idea what this game is. Please... What? What was it in Japanese again? That might be it.
Spanish, I think.
No, it was God...
Oh, Godslayer Haruka Tenko no Sanata.
No, that's not it.
No,
Please.
it's not.
Yeah. something. You know what? I'm just gonna leave it at I have no idea what this game is. Sorry, you. No, don't read it. I don't know what it means.
Foxnor's being paranoid that it
Yeah.
might be something nasty. Oh, okay. I think he's saying he does know what it means, though.
Oh, does he? Report my support. Oh. Sorry. I know, Ryan. It's okay.
Alright, so 2 more of these groups. So I need to kill... technically speaking, grinding on the guards in the tunnels would be faster if they weren't so dangerous. So it's a lot safer just to grind on those guys. Like even in a submission run, you wouldn't. Whoop, these guys are really annoying. Even in a submission run, you probably wouldn't want to.
And you would
try
have to
grind on
worry,
the
and you'd have to
guards.
deal with despawning guards too, wouldn't you? If you were going to
Yep.
grind on them.
I'm hoping.
So he's fighting because of how dangerous these guards are, just because they move pretty fast and do a lot of damage if they hit you. He's abusing the just a mechanic where when he's jumping, he can hurt them, but they can't hurt him. And then there's no depth physics in the game too, so I mean where the sprite of his sword is where its hitbox is, even though that doesn't make any sense from a physics perspective.
If I'm in the air, I can't be hit by melee attacks. And their sword counts as a melee attack, so I can just keep jumping as long as I position them correctly, which I'm not doing. There we go. Then it's very, very difficult for them to hit me. But those guys kill you in like 4 or 5 hits, I want to say, so they're pretty dangerous.
Yeah, you don't really get a whole lot of invincibility frames in this game when you get hit.
Oh, come on.
So it's fairly easy to get comboed to death.
That was really dangerous. I cannot believe that worked. Thankfully, there's a checkpoint in the next room, so if I die, there's no way I'm going to die before I hit the checkpoint, unless, like, the game freezes or something like that. But, I will have to kill a few extra enemies just if I die, but it's not a big deal. So the next boss is probably the last real roadblock in the game, because he can be so random.
And yeah, and he still has no armor too. You're expected to have probably like 2 or 3 upgrades of armor by this point.
Yeah, I will not be picking up any armor or a shield until probably a little over halfway into the run. So I'll be taking more damage than the designers really intended for you to take.
All right, so this is General Kelbesk, one of Dragon's finest 4. Dragon. I don't remember a ton about really what the backstory behind the Dragonian Empire is, other than that they're evil. But
he is not being nice. Okay, that was okay. That can go a lot worse than that.
Yeah, so there's basically 4 generals that are kind of the recurring villains in the game before you get to the end stretch.
Yeah, Dragon Dark has that split marked as RNG Hell, which is not an inaccurate description.
Saying that area is really hard, so.
So I'm going to be skipping a minor part of the story here. You're normally supposed to have to like talk to the queen and then talk to the fortune teller, then talk to the queen, then talk to the fortune teller. I don't remember how many times you're supposed to have to do it, but eventually you end up with an item that cures petrification, because there's a couple of statues. There's a couple people turned into statues in your way in this cave that you're supposed to use the flute on to get past them. But it's possible to just push past them if you know how. So that probably saves a couple minutes of running around. Oops, I already had the Sword of Fire equipped. When I mentioned that it's hard to remember all the menuing in this game, I was not kidding. There's so many little, like, turning items on and off and remembering
the
all that
menuing isn't
stuff.
that complicated in this game, but there's just a lot of it, because you can't you have to go into the menu to change swords, you have to change swords to damage certain enemies, and you can't have both a spell and an item active at the same time, because they use the same button.
Yeah. So I can't kill any of these guys without the water sword, which I'm about to get. And they do a lot of damage, so I'm really hoping they don't just randomly run into me. Sadly, I have to grind on them in a minute, but there's ways to make it safer, so I'll be doing that. Horde of otters!
Horde of otters.
So thankfully they are vulnerable to the paralysis spell, which makes them a lot less dangerous.
I don't think I touched the paralysis spell once when I played this game as a kid, other than the time that you have to as part of the whole petrification side quest that you just skipped. And I guess for finding Kensu too.
Yeah, the paralysis spell can be pretty useful even in a casual run. See how much damage I took? I was at full health before I took a hit from that guy.
Yeah, I didn't know how good the barrier spell was either.
Yeah, the barrier spell can be pretty broken later on in the game. I'm missing so many paralysis shots here. That's not good. I mean, I can fight these guys without paralysis, but they're just so much more dangerous because those shots they fire will actually stun you for like 15 seconds because they turn you into stone. And so you're basically totally helpless. If you get stoned, you're basically... Oops, I meant to switch. Playing it a bit safe here. It's basically up to RNG whether or not you die at that point. Okay, so I want to say 900 for this next part. So I'm going to kill one more. I think that'll be... Okay, well, I guess I'll kill this guy too.
Even though this is an S game, it is a bit forgiving if you die, just because there's checkpoints that you can continue at.
Yeah, this is not one of those points, though. I would have to redo this this entire cave all over again if I died at this point, so that would set me back a fair ways. Okay, I do have some extra warp boots, so I suppose if I take a bunch of damage, I can use refresh and heal myself. I'm playing it a bit safer than I really would otherwise, since I'm so low on health and magic here. So this is actually the first deviation between the any % route and the 100% route. Normally, I wouldn't go do this, but there's an item over here that you need to get for it to count as 100%. Okay. So that's actually good that that guy spawned, because it's 2 less guys I have to kill later. Alright, so I need to pick that up because I need to be able to unstone this guy. He gives me one of the items that counts for 100%. I will never use that item, but since it's 100%, I need to pick it up.
Alrighty, and we have another donation in from one LLK.
Ooh, hey, LLK.
Hey, and it's for $5. And she says, hey, that's not nice. She says, hey, you charming, amazing, handsome, wonderful people. Or maybe she wrote, hey, nerds.
I think nerds.
I think she said, hey, nerds.
Yeah, probably. She wrote, I don't have a ton of money left, but I wanted to support my favorite RPG racing madmen. Really, I find math and numbers so baffling that I'm mostly certain they're runes sent from hell just to confuse me personally, so RPG speedruns always impress me. You still rock, Poxnor. Or should I say, Rocksnor. Well, now I just sound like I'm making this up.
I think it does.
See you all at the next AGDQ, hopefully. Well, thank you very much, LLK.
Thanks, Lindsay.
So I just picked up the ball of water, which lets me make ice bridges. Unfortunately, the shot itself doesn't do all that much extra damage, so it's not really worth charging up for, but, you know, it's a plot item, so.
Okay.
So,
getting paralyzed in this game makes you unable to charge your sword, which then would have made him unable to break that wall, but this game isn't sophisticated enough to be able to handle you having more than one status effect at the same time, so if you get poisoned, then that overwrites being paralyzed.
So that was purposeful, you got poisoned?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a way of curing paralysis right now, other than getting myself poisoned.
Okay.
All of these guys...
But you're still poisoned.
All of these guys in here, other than the spiders, can poison you. And it's actually, most cases, preferable that they poison you, because otherwise you take damage from the hit. But it's random whether or not they do. I don't know what the chance is. Probably like 30% or so. So, it just slowly drains your health. Eventually it will kill you. But
it
I
never
haven't...
runs out?
And it does not run out unless you specifically cure it, yes. Or it gets overwritten by, you know,
Yeah, or
paralysis
stay at
or
an
something
end.
like that. I'll get a spell later on that will actually cure all status effects, well, most status effects, but by that point it actually doesn't really matter that much that I'm poisoned, so it's kind of silly that they give it to me.
Fortunately, there's very, very few places I think where the teleport spell is locked out. You can use it in the middle of dungeons. I mean, I'm guessing you probably can't teleport out of a boss battle, but
no, you can't. You can't even teleport out of like after a boss battle. Like every boss in the game drops an item. Like there'll be a chest on the floor. You can't teleport out unless you pick up the chest. So this is another part of the game where a lot of people probably got confused because there's so many weird little event triggers that you need to set off before you can continue like through the main part of the game. Like right now, dang it! It's very rare that I actually get through even out of the first room without getting paralyzed, let alone the whole cave.
thanks to this game's amazing hitboxes.
Yep.
So amazing, even the wiki agrees.
Yep. At one point, I was considering picking up this game for speedrunning until I saw Dragon Dark and UA do runs, and yeah, hitbox is too strong for me.
Yeah. So don't actually want to switch back to the fire sword here because there's a wall around the corner. So now I want to switch back to the fire sword. So there's actually two, you can actually go either left or right here, but going left is slightly faster. Sometimes it's hard to remember exactly where you want to go. This is actually a pretty confusing cave if you don't remember the route through it. Well, even if you remember the route through it, it's still pretty confusing. But I'm killing as much stuff on my way through as I can so that it's less stuff I have to grind on later. That's sort of a general running theme of this game, is kill stuff on the way to where you're going as much as possible. Within reason. There's definitely a few enemies that aren't worth stopping to kill, but for the most part, you want to kill as much as you can. Like, these red dragons are not worth the effort, because they're only like 10 experience, whereas these spiders are 120, something like that.
Are those the same dragons like from the vampire's cave? Or?
For the same dragons as from the Mount Saber South. And actually, thankfully they die really fast, so once I've switched to the... They don't take damage from the flame sword, which is what I want to be using for most of this cave. And I'm out of magic, but I do have some more boots left over still, so I'm good. However, I'm going to hit the inn because I'm really low on health, and I would not survive...
And poisoned.
Yeah, I would not survive the next part since I had to use all my magic on healing myself. So now I'm gonna go fix up an injured dolphin. Because I need him to take me across the ocean. I'm also gonna get the recover spell, which cures poison, paralysis, and being stoned. Hopefully I'll never need to use it, but it's good to have just in case.
Would you normally skip that spell?
No, I'm pretty sure you have to get it, because if you don't... Actually, yeah, the dolphin won't show up until you've gotten the spell, so you do need to actually... It is a required spell.
And I think it is a bit finicky to actually use the medical herb on the dolphin instead of on yourself, too.
Yeah, that's why I talked to the dolphin first, just to make sure. As long as you don't move after you talk to the dolphin, then you're pretty much guaranteed to give it to the dolphin instead of yourself.
I really dig the music in this ocean, by the way.
Yeah, this game has really good music in general.
Yeah. This version of the game, I should say,
Yes,
has really good music.
Yes, that's very true. So I need to talk to that guy in the hut, otherwise I can't actually summon the dolphin for whatever reason.
Although whenever the dolphin faces sideways, I always think it looks more like a mini-sub than a dolphin.
So, and for whatever reason, you can't get into the next cave until you visited that town, but there's absolutely no other reason that I need to visit that town because of a glitch I'll be doing later. But I still need to visit it because it doesn't let me inside the next cave. Not this cave. This cave I need to go to because I need to find this hidden item for later. It's an event item that I'll need later on, but the, takes a lot of hits. Okay, so this is the next grinding section, so more comments.
Yeah, I call this the cabbage
Or
farming.
donations, rather.
I think
go
they're
make
supposed
yourself,
to.
Go make yourself a Reuben.
I think they're supposed to be like turtles or something, but I always think they look like heads of cabbage.
Pretty much. Are there any more donations?